Hey everyone, and welcome back to another weekly episode of the Coco Nomad channel with the weekly retrospective, where I review my previous week. I like to keep track of what's going on, plan the next week. Hope you follow along with the same format so that you can have an amazing week as well. Remember, every day isn't going to be perfect. You won't always have days where everything goes right, but you want to win the week. Overall, your goal is to win your week. So let's go ahead and get started. What went well? My client project, I had previously mentioned 2 weeks, and what was puzzling me or what didn't go well was that the client project wasn't going smoothly. I wasn't putting enough work into it. And this past week was actually great. Had a great meeting with the clients. We went through a lot of things. We cleared out the board, got a lot of the previous things that I had delivered approved. We'd gone through a couple of iterations with UI. We got past the major blocker. So I'm really excited about where we are with that project right now. Looking forward to delivering some more features and eliminating some additional bugs as we move forward because we're getting closer and closer to launch. So hopefully midsummer, we'll be able to launch the product to the public, and I'll be able to just talk about it and include a link so that if you are an iPhone user, you would be able to get it. This is an iOS only app. That is my specialty. That's what I do. Sorry, Android users. I know I've got friends and other people for other apps I've written. I say I'm gonna get around to it, and it just doesn't happen. So I realize what my specialty is, and that's just where I'm staying. What else went well? I did some accountability partner videos. I'm going to link to those in the description. If you have not seen them already, I really do strongly suggest that you have an accountability partner. You can even use this process as a part of that. I don't necessarily go through this process with my accountability partners. I do a shortened version that's more like the Agile Daily Stand-Up. And then some, of course, are some deeper discussions. But I go into great detail of what those relationships are like and how I set them up and how I found my partners and a little bit more about that entire process in those videos. So if you're interested in getting an accountability partner, setting up that relationship, I highly recommend you check those videos out. The third thing that went well, Hawks beat the Knicks. We are on to the second round. And as I record this, we are 1-0 in the second round, the conference semifinals, although we tried desperately to give that game away at the end. But I'm super excited. It's been five years, I think, since the Hawks have been in the playoffs. I'm really excited about the team and the way that they're playing. It's just good. Finally, some bright spots. I'm not even going to talk about the bad news that came out of Atlanta today. Kind of knew it was coming. It wasn't an inevitability. I'm not happy about it. We're just going to move on. The final thing that's going well, I guess it's not yet. It hasn't happened yet, but this is the eve of WWDC. So this tomorrow will be the start of the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference. This is the second year in a row, of course, this has been virtual. I have been a couple of years. It's been a while. I haven't been to one, of course, since I left the US. So it's 2015, I think was the last year I attended. But it's an amazing conference. Always excited. I find that in the later years, I'm not as excited for the keynote as I am for the State of the Platforms address, which is the stuff that, as a developer, I get to play with, the things that I get to use, new APIs. But it's an amazing day. It's an amazing week to talk to other developers. When you're there, there are some virtual meetups and virtual watch sessions and things like that I'm going to try to participate in this year. But it's not quite the same. Try to make the most of it. And like last year's 360 iDev, same thing. Still a good conference. Virtual conferences, it's where we are right now. We just have to deal with the fact that that's how we're not able to necessarily meet up in person in large groups. And hopefully next year that will be different. If we do what we need to do and move forward and progress around the world, it would be amazing if we can do that. But all things being considered, I thought they did a great job last year with the virtual conference, getting those videos out. I enjoyed watching them. I learned a lot. There were so many new things presented. I never have time to digest all the videos, and so it takes a while. But I'm excited about some things hopefully coming out with regards to augmented reality and some other things that I'm actually working directly with. So it'll be interesting to see what they drop, what we get, and hopefully there'll be a new MacBook Pro coming out because I desperately need to upgrade my machine. I've had this machine here that I'm recording on crash multiple times in the past few months, and it's just really aggravating, to be honest. It's something where I need more processing speed, I can get more done, and just more stability. And it's been a number of years since I've had a new machine in its time. So let's move on to what didn't go well. There's really only one thing, and that is I joined a gym on Monday. and I've only been once. I went the first day. I worked out. They have a heavy bag, which is the reason why I joined. I mean, being full disclosure, it's the only reason why I joined. And so it's, I thought I would go at least 3 times. Hasn't happened. And it's not that I haven't worked out. It's just that I haven't worked out at the gym. So I'm hoping to change that because I pay for a month up front and I just pay per visit. I don't think it would be as big a deal. I wouldn't really care, but I gave them a month's worth, and it's not a ton of money. I think it was like 35 US dollars, but still, I spent the money. I need to go to the gym. So that leads me into what have I learned? And one of the things that I've learned is that over the years, I've really developed this habit of working out at home and working out in the smallest space possible, no matter where I am. So the flip side of that is it kind of puts me at odds with going to the gym because I don't go to the gym to get a workout unless there's a specific piece of equipment that's there or something that I can't duplicate at home. And this is the second time this year that I've joined the gym. Actually, I guess that was late December when I joined the gym, or January when I joined the gym. I guess it was, yeah, it was this year. I joined the gym when I was in Playa del Carmen, Cocoa Beach Gym, which is great. They had Muay Thai, so I could train and get pad work and sparring and everything that I wanted to get. And this is very similar in having equipment and people there that I can train with. But I just find that I spend most of my time training alone. And I do like it because I'm flexible in the time. I can train when I want. If I'm up at 5 a.m., I can train at 5 a.m. If I want to push that until noon, which I did today, I trained a bit later. I think it wasn't noon, it was like 10 o'clock today. I could train at 10 a.m. and I'm not impacting someone else. I don't have a training partner anymore. No one's waiting for me. It's not a class situation. So I find that it's just easier for me to get the workouts in when I need to, when I work alone, when I work out alone. And that sort of makes it difficult for me a lot of times to take the time to go to the gym. And this gym is even closer. This gym is literally like a 5 or 6 minute walk. But in 5 or 6 minutes, I'm like, for most of my workouts, because I'm a big fan of HIIT training, I'm a third of the way through the workout. So the 10 minutes that I take to walk there and walk back, it's pretty much half of most of my workouts, unless it's like a specific day when I'm training longer on like skills training or something like that. But for the most part, and so that's the thing. It's like a trade off. I'm learning that I really do need to go for a specific reason, and that's like it's just going to be heavy bag days or the days when there is a trainer there that's available that'll do pad work with me. So just working on pad work combinations and things like that, that would be good. But other than that, I can do everything else at home. I just don't need it. So I'm going to have to reconcile, work out what that's going to look like. The second thing I learned is just one of those long things that came out of my weekly learning log. And that is not a lesson or some kind of like, introspective thing. It's just a crazy, like, trivial thing that I learned. And that is the 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis. So the Olympics were held in 1904 in St. Louis. And that marathon is insane. So apparently, they decided they had the event midday, 90-degree heat, which if you're not like me from the southern U.S. or from a warmer climate, that's probably really hot. So people are coming from around the world. Ironically, though, there were only 4 countries that competed in this particular event at the time. So there weren't a ton of countries, but there were about 32 competitors and only 14 finished. A lot of people were dehydrated. They only had 2 water stations. One, I believe, at the 14-mile mark and one at 28, maybe close to 28 miles. It was almost at the end. It was ridiculous, like where they spaced them out. And apparently that was because someone wanted to do some dehydration studies to try to figure out if dehydration improved athletic performance. But that was just one of the many wacky things that happened. But the one standout is that there was one of the competitors came to the event having lost all of their money gambling in New Orleans the week before, didn't even have athletic gear, had to cut their pants to look like shorts, started running. They were hungry, and along the way on the trail, this is like the first 4 miles, I think, were inside the stadium, and then they ran out. And he ate some apples in an apple orchard along the way, but the apples were rotten. This person got food poisoning, wasn't feeling well, laid down, took a nap, and fell asleep. And the amazing thing about that is despite all of that, he still finished in 4th place. And I don't know, something about that just stuck with me about like how things can happen in your life and you can be on this journey and so many things can go wrong and you can make some choices that are wrong-headed and you can have some unfortunate things happen to you. And if you just keep going and also take a break because he took a nap, took some rest, you can still end up in a good spot. It's like, so for me, that was the biggest takeaway. It's just like crazy, just learning that, getting that lesson takeaway from that was just amazing. And there's some other stuff that's hilarious as a part of that. So I'm going to drop a link in the comments to read. I don't know how this isn't at least a television show or something, if not a movie, like maybe like one of those a TV movie or something. Maybe not a Hollywood like big budget production, but there are other characters in this that just make this like it could really be interesting. It's a very interesting story. So just leaving with that piece. Drop in the link. Read up on the Olympic marathon in 1904. It's hilarious. There's a lot of stuff going on. So this next section, I'm changing a little bit, and that's the "What Still Puzzles Me" section. But I'm adding a thing because I've been realizing that every week is not something that necessarily puzzles me, but there will be some blocks. And if I'm being honest, some of it's about fear. It's like, what am I scared to do? What am I still holding back on? So I decided to add what still puzzles and scares me. But the first thing is puzzling me. It's not a fear thing, but it's just that notion. I'm trying to recreate my projects. I'm moving over from Trello, or trying to see if I can move everything over from Trello on day one to see how this works. And I'm sort of still in the early to mid stages of it, not sure how it's going to work. I'm just trying to come up with a system, and not just one that I can use, but that others can use. Because I'm actually building a set of templates that anyone who's working remotely or trying to do project management for themselves, manage themselves and get their projects done, giving you a tool set that you can use. And that hopefully will be available by midsummer. I'll have something that's actually available that you can purchase. So that's really the goal here. And I've been working really hard, learning how to do this. There'll be some videos, of course, to show you how to do it. But the goal is to make it super, super simple. Actually, I'd like it to be easier than my system with Trello and pad and paper. I'll still write things down because I just get something from writing things down, but the permanent location for all of those things will be inside of Notion if this all works out. So I'm still trying to streamline that. I'm doing more copying and pasting that I'd like to do. And so I want to streamline this. I don't know how much is going to involve some like third-party processes like a Zapier or IFTTT or something like that. I'd like to avoid that as much as possible, because when I provide something, I'd like to be able to stay within one tool and just use it, the minimal amount of movement outside wherever you capture and need to move things in. But I'll dive into that in some future videos as I learn more and work that out. And then the second thing is just my landing pages on my site. Like, I really should have launched my coaching page before. The thing that I'd like to be able to offer this week is the ability, if you are interested in getting some help in remote work, getting clear on projects that you're working on, having a strategy call of the techniques that you're using, offering a strategy call. And I do have that available in terms of like a calendar, but I don't have a landing page where people can go to. Just click a link and then set the appointment. Or if you're not sure that like I'm someone you want to work with that could help you, I'm offering discovery calls also for 15 minutes. In fact, what I'm going to do, just decided, why not? I'm just going to drop links to both of those in the description right now. I'm not even going to wait on the landing page. I am going to deal with that because that is something I need to do. I think part of that is just me, my old days of being a web developer. I just kind of ran away from it. It's like, I don't want to touch this stuff anymore. I just want to be a mobile dev. But the reality is like, yeah, I've got to go back into the web dev, web page world because it's necessary, and just get it up. So I will do that. But I'm going to drop a link. 15-minute discovery calls. We just talk. Tell me about what's challenging you, and we can see if there's something I can help you with. I won't be solving your problem in 15 minutes. Like, that's not an expectation. It's just to see like what it is that you're struggling with, your challenges are, and then to see if we are a good fit. Because like I work a certain way, there's certain things that I like to do, and a certain way that I talk, and if it's not a good fit, some of this you can tell from watching these videos. But let's have a one-on-one and just kind of keep going. And then, of course, I'll link to the strategy calls. If you've seen enough of me, if you listen to the podcast, you've heard me give talks, you listen to me for a while, and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure you're a person that can help me get through this stuff. And you have a challenge that you want to get. It's like a single thing. Can't solve all the problems in a strategy call because it's only about 45 minutes to an hour we'll have. That we can also do. So I'll drop a link to that. Of course, now that's a paid call. So the 15-minute discovery call would be free. The strategy call absolutely is not. So just want to be full disclosure and understand that. But I'll drop those links as well. I'm not even waiting on the landing page, but the landing page is definitely my focus, which leads into the what will I do differently. That's my primary focus this week because the developer conference is really going to get most of my attention. Hopefully, some new sweet Swift stuff coming, so I'll be heads down watching videos, learning, see how it impacts the apps that I'm working on, things I can deliver, some new app ideas. But in terms of getting some new work done, getting that landing page up, and providing the ability to work with anyone who wants to work with me. I've been, again, working remotely for over a decade, traveling for the last 5.5 years. So I have a lot of things that I can help with, a lot of experience, insights, tips, tricks, techniques, the whole nine. Even some motivation though. It's like I'm a coach, and I'll coach you up too. So I'm all about that. Get you excited, get you motivated, get you going, get you started, and help you with accountability if you need that as well. But we can talk through that in the discovery call and determine a schedule if that is something that you're looking for. So that's going to wrap up this week's retrospective. Hope you are also on track to getting the things that you want to. Have an amazing week. One final thing I'd like to ask, if you can click the like button and share. If you find these videos helpful, any of the other videos that I do on the channel helpful, please share so that other people can discover the video. The likes absolutely help for people to discover as well. I'm really, really doing the best I can and try to help other people be successful with remote work. And if you want to do that while traveling, that too. It's not a requirement. I would hope that you do it because it's amazing, but if you just are trying to be successful working remotely wherever you are, that's the whole point of this channel, to just give you tips, tricks, techniques to help you make the best and bring your best self to your work. So have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next time. Cheers.